What happens when you can't use your preferred knife defense technique? In this video, Mike Janisch, founder of Martial Blade Concepts, breaks down his strategy on if you have to deviate from your original plan when things don't go your way in a knife fight. And a quick reminder, we have a gun giveaway going on right now. You can enter for free, but it ends very soon. Just click the link in the description down below to reveal what brand new gun you could win. Now, let's watch the video.
Anytime you're in a self-defense situation, it's going to be a very dynamic situation. And one of the things you have to take into consideration is that no matter how hard you train, things are always going to go wrong. You have to take that into account in your training, and you have to basically be prepared to kind of incrementally lower your standards when necessary. So one of the sayings we have in Martial Blade Concepts, like the public school system, when in doubt, lower your standards. It's a joke, everyone laughs at it, but then when they start taking it seriously, they understand what we're talking about. So what we're going to do is we're going to illustrate kind of how we can back off from kind of our perfect go-to technique, still have something that works really well, but if things aren't quite going our way and we're not getting things the exact way we want, we still have something that's functional, something that's going to save our lives when we need it most. So Eric Mays, you got a trainer?
I do.
Awesome, trainer here. So if we look at an attack, what we call an angle one. So Eric is basically attacking me, cutting me across the neck here. This is a knife versus knife illustration, but it really doesn't matter what weapon he's got. He could just as easily be swinging a tire iron at my head, whatever else it might be. As long as he's posing a lethal threat, I'm justified in using my knife, and I would use the same techniques regardless of what weapon he's got. Now, our preferred technique for this is what we call a crissata. So as he's attacking, what I'm doing is I'm cutting the flexor tendons of his wrist. I'm also accelerating his hand, and notice that I'm getting out of the way of this at the same time. So he's attacking, I'm basically moving back, cutting here, and then almost like clapping my hands and missing. This is something, if you go back through the USCCA video archives, you'll see references to the crissata. You can see much more detail on this technique in those videos. What we get is essentially that motion. From here, what I've got is essentially his tricep. I cut the tricep, I check his arm, step forward, thrust, cut his leg and destroy his mobility, and that allows me to go home. This is our master technique in Martial Blade Concepts. This is the go-to technique if we could possibly pull it off. So when we put all this together, we basically get that. Now the thing is, in order to do this, I have to be able to react with both hands. When I see that coming in, I have to have a good reaction where both hands are getting into play immediately. But the world's an imperfect place. It doesn't always work that way. So let's say that I can't get this hand into action quickly enough. He attacks, I still get out of the way, but I only get that cut. Well, that's one of our other defensive responses. The crissata is one tactic that we use. This is what's called a pass. With a pass, I'm simply getting out of the way, cutting, but I wasn't able to accelerate that with my other hand. The beauty of the crissata is I'm able to sandwich his arm between my hands, create a deeper cut, and also force his hand across his body. If I have to lower my standards just a little bit, we simply take this hand out of the equation. So we cut, check, step forward, thrust, and we've simply, again, compromised one element of our technique. If we have to lower our standards a little bit more, it may be that he attacks and I simply evade. Once I've gotten out of the way, I'm on a roll because I didn't get cut or hit. And if you notice what I've got here, I essentially have a reference point that I've seen already in both of the last techniques we did. I've still got his tricep. So from here, I simply cut, check, step forward, thrust, and cut. I'm literally jumping ahead in the process, and in the process accepting the fact that, hey, if I can't do things exactly my way, I can still make them work based on whatever my instinctive reactions might be. So again, he attacks. I still make that work, but wasn't as good as this, wasn't as good as the pass cutting with my knife on the initial motion. But what I was able to do is, again, preserve my life getting out of the way, kind of pick up the pieces based on the reference point that I saw, and then finish it using the same basic plan that I had before. Again, one of the sayings that we have in NBC is have a plan and work your plan. What that means is to have a good technique, have something that you can really trust, but then also understand under the dynamic situation where you're being attacked for real, you're not always going to rise to the level that you would hope. If you do have to compromise, what you want to make sure is that your plan to compromise is incremental, allows you to still apply your techniques very effectively, still save your life, and in the process accept the fact that, hey, the world's an imperfect place.
Thanks for staying with us all the way to the end. I'm Kevin Michalowski, Director of Content for the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. If you enjoy videos like this, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell. We'll notify you every time something new comes out. Stay safe. We'll see you in the next video.